Japan wants to secure cooperation with NATO, Foreign Minister says.
Here's a summary of the article.
Japan's Foreign Minister Hayashi Yoshimasa says his country wants to secure its cooperation with NATO to strengthen international order based on the rule of law. Hayashi was speaking to reporters before a meeting of foreign ministers of the organization in Brussels, Belgium, that began around 11:30 a.m. on Wednesday, local time. Japan is a partner of NATO. He said the international community stands at a historical turning point, and that he wants to highlight the importance of Japan-NATO cooperation to uphold and strengthen a free and open international order and the rule of law. In the meeting, Hayashi is believed to be briefing his counterparts on Prime Minister Kishida Fumio's visit to Ukraine last month. Kishida met Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and conveyed Tokyo's intention to support the provision of non-lethal equipment to Ukraine through NATO trust funds. Hayashi is also thought to be referring to Japan's new national security strategy, which was revised last year amid an increasingly severe security environment in East Asia, with China getting more assertive and North Korea carrying out repeated missile launches.
This post received a score of 6,200, with an upvote ratio of 98%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Oh, Japan's reaching out to NATO? That's a smart move. Better to have friends than enemies, am I right?
They saw that the Moomins joined NATO, so now they want in too.
I'd wanna join the Moomins too.
Probably the most underrated cartoon of our childhoods.
I just liked the one guy's hat.
Time to evolve NATO into GDI. Stop the terror of NOD.
Its new name should be Pacific Ocean and Transatlantic Treaty Organization, POTATO.
But then we'd be setting up an Axis alliances battle chant, boil M, mash M, stick M in us too.
The world would truly be a dark place if the Axis of evil used a Samwise Gamgee quote as a battle cry. LOL.
Images of Putin carrying Xi up the side of a mountain.
Someone get AI on this.
They look so happy together. They even brought Zai's clone along with them.
Does Japan still have any military restrictions that resulted from the terms of their World War II surrender? I know Germany did, or still has.
Unlike the post-World War I German restrictions, Japan's are entirely self-imposed and open to reinterpretation or removal at any time.
Greater than open to reinterpretation or removal at any time. But removal requires amending the constitution, which requires two-thirds majority in both houses of parliament. The constitution hasn't been amended even once since it was ratified in 1947.
Sure. But Article 9 was reinterpreted just in 2014 and continues to be a hot topic in Japanese politics, so it's not unthinkable, if unlikely.
Could Japan join NATO? From the internets, and I assume it's part of the World War II peace agreement. Although Japan is a fully fledged democracy, and its armed forces can only be deployed overseas for peacekeeping operations, their role is limited. Based on Article 9 of the Constitution, the SDF cannot fight together with NATO's other partners, because Japan cannot exercise its right to collective self-defense.
My understanding is it's part of their constitution, and not a treaty. So in theory they could amend their constitution and remove the defensive-only restriction whenever they wished. I'm not familiar with the amendment process in Japan, so I had no idea how plausible this outcome is, however.
I was living over that way 6 or so years ago, and there was a lot of talk of removing that from the Constitution. It's obviously quite a divisive issue, but I don't know whatever happened. Maybe it got voted down, or dropped. But as it was being discussed, I think it's safe to say that making the amendment would be possible and plausible with enough support behind it.
It never made it. Wildly unpopular move. People here seem willing to see the self-defense forces expanded, but they don't seem to want Article 9 dropped.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.